Hi.
Hello.
It has been a week, Tonya, and we were gone last week. Woo!
Yeah,
It's been 2 weeks.
it's been a couple weeks, a
and
couple of Sundays, and we're shifting.
and we're shifting, and I barely made it because it's just been a time.
Oh no.
June kicked my ass. I'm not gonna lie to you,
Oh, tell us about it.
but
Tell
I'm only uphill from here. I'm only gonna claim uphill from here. Just busy with like work. And it's so funny because I work for me. So I was like, who would have set my schedule like this? It was me. But then I got sick.
Oh no.
Our
You got
basement got flooded. So I got sick from the mold. Like it was just like
what?
one thing after the other after the other. And so I had gone out of town to Vegas for a conference. That's why we didn't record last week because I got home and I was just like exhausted.
Mhm.
And then I was like gonna cancel this other trip because I was sick. And then tested negative for COVID. So I was like, okay, guess I'll go. And the trip was so I get to New York. Now, mind you, before COVID, these were trips I made all the time.
Right.
Like I was always on a plane. Now I'm like, I need to recover. So we get there. It's already bad enough because like the time zone switch.
Mhm.
Get to the hotel, Tanya. I'm not even gonna get into dragging this hotel, but you know that after the first night, because I was there for 3 days, we had to change. I had to change my hotel.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so then yesterday I was finally on my way back. I was supposed to be home. I was supposed to have landed in San Francisco at like 7.
Uh-huh.
We're on the plane. We get on the plane late. We're on the plane and we literally circle for two hours and 58 minutes. Ask me how I know it was 2 hours and 58 minutes.
Because you were looking at your watch the whole time.
Because the FAA, like, or what is that? Is that right?
Yeah.
Whatever the flight attendant, like, or whatever, they basically have a law where it's like your door can't be open for more than 3 hours. So if we wouldn't have taken off in 3 hours, then we would have had to deplane. So
Oh.
I was like in my seat and I was like feeling really claustrophobic. And so I got up and I was like, Libra, Hufflepuff, make friends with the flight attendant. So I'm in the front, like talking to him.
Uh-huh.
And finally, and like we're counting down because like whatever. And so we're 2 hours, 58 minutes, and they're like, okay, y'all can take off.
Oh wow.
And so me and the
So
flight
you were
attendant like
circling
high
you were
five.
circling on the ground?
Hmm.
Oh wow.
And so then or yeah, so either we were on the ground or
Yeah.
maybe I don't even remember because at first anyway. So I landed at SFO. It's like extremely late. I'm tired. And Tanya, you will never believe this. It's so unbelievable. I'm like looking at my phone and I like accidentally hit somebody, like, like just going past. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I look up, it's Evander Holyfield.
You hit Evander Holyfield.
I was
Wow.
like, only I would like run into Evander. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, sir. And he was like very nice. He just kind of laughed. He's like, you gotta look up from that phone every once in a while. And then just like kept moving.
Nice.
So that was my week. So I was just like, I didn't get home. It was like maybe by the time I made it home, it was like 11:30.
Wow.
So that's been my week. And what about you?
My week, well, I spent most of the week sick. So
Oh,
I this was my first cold in 3 years. I might sound a little congested. I might like if I laugh, I might cough laugh. But
mm,
yeah, so I spent a lot of it in bed.
oh,
And I make it like a habit. I live in a loft, it's one room. And usually when I wake up, I get up out of bed and go to my living room section. Like I never try to stay in bed all day because
mhm,
even then I get like sometimes my body's just like. So, but last weekend, I was literally in bed for like 3 days straight. So I missed Juneteenth. But
Oh.
I, you know, binge watched Star Trek. So I was okay. I'm in the middle of Deep Space Nine,
Hmm.
and the characters are growing on me.
Okay.
There's a website that shows you how to watch it all in order. And so the instructions are to watch Deep Space Nine up till the end of season 4, and then start watching Voyager because they happen around the same time.
Okay.
So I've started watching Voyager. So I'm in the middle of 2 Star Trek shows. I'm like, so I have to get through all of them and the subsequent movies in order to catch up, in order to be able to watch Picard, which just ended. But I've got a lot of shows catching up to. And like we said, we were talking about the strike. There's just plenty to watch. So go
There's
ahead,
so much.
writers, strike away, because I got plenty of stuff to watch.
Right.
Me, I am not caught up. I'm missing. A lot of people are starting to watch some new shows, and I'm not even. I'm behind in my movies. I haven't watched The Flash yet. I haven't watched. I
The
know
movie or the show?
the movie. I know some people. I still haven't finished the show. I'm
I'm not
behind.
going to see the movie. I'm not. I
You're not
can't.
supporting what's his name. And I haven't watched Element. I haven't watched The Blackening. I haven't watched. There's so much. So I'm behind
I,
in everything.
I did finally finish the last TV season of The Flash. I stand Iris West Allen forever and ever. So
Well, don't spoil it for me because I haven't watched it.
no, I won't
Yeah.
spoil it. But I'm just saying I stand her forever and ever.
All right.
So I'm definitely gonna keep up with my girl. And Candace Patton, I'm always gonna be following her career because, like she opened the door for so much.
Mhm.
She is like, people talk a lot about the Arrowverse and what happened, but it would look different if it wasn't for Candace Patton. And you know, and I just love West Allen. Like her and Grant, like really made some chemistry magic in
Mhm.
my eyes. And then this other show that you have to watch. So you have to watch it so we can eventually talk about it. Sandra refuses to watch it because they said it's too much like cringy. It's this show called Jury Duty.
Oh.
It's on Amazon, and
Mhm.
it's basically like The Office slash Parks and Rec, but really like The Office
Uh-huh.
meets The Truman Show.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. And
So it's
I did jury duty when I was in my 20s,
uh
and I had a long civil case. So I was like gone from work for like 4 weeks.
so this is so off topic, but jury duty is so weird. I got like a summons in the mail like a week ago or something, and it's like I have to call in every day
To
for
see if
like the week of like a whole week to
Mhm.
see if like so I'm not going in, but I call in every day.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. But so anyway, the show is like so that there's this guy and he basically answered a Craigslist ad to be a part of like a documentary on jury duty.
Oh.
But what he doesn't know is that the whole thing is basically nothing but improv actors and him. And so he doesn't know these people are actors. And then the
Oh.
whole reality around him. And then the actor James Marsden, he was in. I mean, he's been in everything, but he was
Yeah.
like the other guy in The Notebook. He
He's
was
like
like
the
the
prince
dude.
and all the enchanted
Exactly.
movies.
Yeah. 27 Dresses, all of that. He plays like this fictionalized version of himself on the show.
Oh,
It's like it's an easy watch. It's like 30-minute episodes, maybe 8 episodes. So funny. I watched it in one sitting. It was so cringe and it was amazing. So you have to watch it.
okay.
Yeah.
As soon as I finish watching all the Star Trek.
All the Star Trek, you know.
Take me a while.
Oh God.
So,
So all that context to say that we'll see how long this show is today because I do not have a lot.
me neither. And so for those of you who are watching, I am in my shared office at City Hall. So this is a little Parks and Recy um in government life. So,
When you logged on, I was like, it's giving Leslie Knope. I love it.
yay.
Um, so okay, let's get into this recap, which is severely lacking. So, let's start with the big thing. Drew sentenced to 3 years in Penville. Mm. Portia learns about the kiss between Curtis and Jordan from Zeke and confronted Jordan for some reason. Zeke also warns Trina to be careful of Curtis. Trina, of course, confronts Curtis and he tells her the truth about the kiss. Messy, messy Black Hospital, and I loved it. Jordan is going to be deputy mayor. She's going to recommend Taggart for police commissioner. So hopefully that means we see more Taggart. Ava continues to snoop around Sonny's apartment for whatever reason. And now her and Austin believe they should get the nanny fired so they can play a nanny. Nina decides against confessing to Sonny when she finds out that Ned is back in his Eddie Maine era. Selena ordered Gladys to help Cody and for them to quit fighting after Sam and Spinelli put all on the line to try to help Cody. Molly and TJ may not be able to have a biological child, and Sasha lets the deception crew know she might be off her guardianship soon. Speaking of deception crew, looks like Lucy's man Martin might be a little shady. That's all I got. That's all I got for this recap. How did you feel about the week?
Yeah, it was a week. I there's stuff that I liked about the week, but I have to say, if this was supposed to be a summer sweeps or anything, no, it wasn't. It wasn't sweeping. And I hate to do this because I love General Hospital, but oh my god, Young and the Restless was pulling out all the stops. Like they had a kidnapping, they had someone lose their baby, they had sibling rivalry, they had husband busting wife and all the lies. They had it all. And it was gripping. And so unfortunately, if you want to do a compare and contrast, Geech wasn't it. However, I did enjoy some stuff, which we'll talk about and what we liked about the week and what we didn't.
Yeah.
But
That's interesting. Because I'm watching Days and like, they sometimes have a Black people problem on Days. They wrote off a Black cop like going to jail. Like, they have a problem sometimes. But one of my faves, Eli is back, Theo is back. Just for a little bit, but like seeing them on screen was just like, something is set right. So they actually had a Juneteenth celebration. I know it was preemption stuff, but on Juneteenth on Black Hospital, we was fighting at the pool.
well, yeah.
Juneteenth on Days, they were like talking about it being Juneteenth and talking about like a celebration. I was like, damn, we out here bad.
You know what? I was actually going to say I was loving Black Hospital because it was basically Ashford Family Week and kind of midweek a little bit, but I liked that. I like that they had a lot of story in the family.
Yeah.
And so I appreciated that a lot. But now what you're saying is Juneteenth. Now I'm just like, so, but I appreciate that there was Black family at General Hospital. So I appreciated that.
Black people contain multitudes.
They do. And there was all kinds of multitudes happening in the Ashford family. So appreciate that.
I'm trying to think of what my favorite moment of the week was. I mean, I really did enjoy a lot of the Tracy Leo stuff.
Mhm.
I think it was interesting. We didn't record last week, but one of the things I think that needs to be done for Tracy is like that balance. Like
Mm.
you need to have a balance to like show that she's ruthless and she'll get what she wants, but she also has that soft side. And so I really and it feels very not forced. Some of
Mhm.
the Sunny stuff feels very forced to be like, don't forget he's a good guy. You know what I mean? Where it's like with Tracy, it's like this actually feels um in line with her character. You know what I'm saying? Like it just like seamlessly fits. So she finds out Willow has cancer, she softens. She sees that she's not being good to Leo, she softens. And I think that that really like brings her down to earth for some of like the more wild and ridiculous stuff that she does. So I really enjoyed their moments together when she dropped a fidget spinner and he was like, um, it's okay. I was like, Leo finally has the scene partner he deserves. Get it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, I guess I will go into a little bit of, favorite performances. I again, it's a two-folder for me. Real Andrews, Taggart, 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 because he had the elevator scene, and then he also had the scene with Jordan and his room, because getting over being hungover. Um, and then he had a smaller scene with Jordan this week where he's like, "I need a job." I was like, "Yay! Taggart needs a job." That means he's going to be on the canvas, and kind of, while Laura is on her trip on vacation. Jeannie Francis, we see you. That's all right. I get it. Get your vacation, girl. While she's on vacation, we're gonna have Taggart on the scene, and hopefully he's gonna get back to harassing Sunny, being the bane of Sunny's existence. Yes, that'll be great. He'll also, interestingly, probably be a foil to Selena Woot.
Mm,
So I was cheering the fact that Taggart needs a job. Um, so again, I have to give him props. He's been doing great, and I see that GH sees it and is going to continue having him on. Yay! My other person would be Jane Elliott, for all the things, for being annoying, for being mean, for being rude, and then for being tender in some parts. My favorite scene was when, Olivia being overly emotional, and Brooklyn is like, "Hey, you need to give Olivia some slack." And she goes over, and Olivia's going crying, and she's like, "There." I just bust
I
up. She's like,
immediately
"There."
dropped I immediately dropped the Queen Charlotte gif where she's like,
Oh
sorry
my
for
yes,
prayers.
yes, like sorrows, prayers, prayers. But it was even more because she touches her like, "There." So that cracked me up. But yeah, Jane Elliott is Tracy is to the hilt. All the things. So loving her being back on the show, having a story. And I kind of feel like I'm loving, that there's definitely some mystery, and I think it also involves Martin being a
Mm,
little shady. All of that. So I'm loving, actually really intrigued by how GH is now going to be incorporating characters which are treated like secondary, but they're going to start having a story that's intriguing. So, like the Quartermains, the Deception folks, Martin, and now there's definitely more intrigue. There's still intrigue. I almost feel bad for poor Sasha, but apparently she's got a really shady therapist out there.
I know. Oh my
Like,
goodness,
what
man.
the hell? So I was like, Sasha cannot have anything straightforward in her life. She's always gonna have some drama, some trauma, and she's gonna be always crying with those pretty pink eyes of hers. They're pink because she's always crying, and um, and so
Oh,
it's
it's pink.
I
Got it.
know they're never really white. They're always like a little tinge of pink and
Mhm.
smallowness because she's crying over something. And it's great. I like that for her. I like that she gets work regardless because she's doing a
Yeah.
great job. And I'm hoping, GH recognizes her and throws her reels in the Emmy because she deserves it because she works really hard and she's
I'm such a fan of Sophia and her work, and I do think, I mean, there's been two times where I think she was snubbed because she was snubbed for, I think, for like losing Liam, and then she was
right.
snubbed for like the Brando stuff and the breakdown.
Oh
So I
yeah,
do feel
definitely.
like she should have been nominated when she hasn't been.
Right.
Um, her birthday was I think yesterday, and she also just had her baby, so she debuted her baby on Instagram. I mean, she's so beautiful. And her baby was so
Oh,
cute. And so I'm wondering how they're gonna write her off for like her maternity leave and like what happens, or because they're not trying to hide that pregnancy no more. They had her pretend to be holding that bag, and I was like, oh y'all, this is
like
not
the
good.
whatever. Just let it go. We all know she
We
pregnant.
know,
We
we
can we
know.
can suspend disbelief and just be like, okay, it's all right.
But she is anyway. I won't get into that because it's a little bit about what I like, what's working for me. But yeah, I'm such a fan of hers, and I agree she does a really great job.
Mhm. So yeah, we'll give it to her too.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, those are great.
Uh,
Yeah. So what's working for me? Um if we scoot right along in that. So yeah, those moments are working for me. I still love Ava and Austin together. Austin is getting a little bit intense and kind of creepy, but I still like it because he's doing it with Ava. Um, I really want to know who the person is that they're fighting against. I'm like, who is it? Um, and it's weird, but I don't know if I understand the plan with the maid. But
the
it
nanny.
the nanny, yeah. I don't understand who they're gonna get to replace the nanny. I actually like the little nanny girl. What's her name? She was cute.
I don't
Uh,
remember.
yeah.
The last nanny whose name I remember was Letitia, and then they killed her. So whatever.
I mean, she didn't even have that big of a part. She just walked in the room and looked at Ava like she was suspicious, and noticed that
Letitia,
the
my
door.
fave,
Yeah,
awful nanny who used to
and
let Michael, little redhead Michael,
oh
escape all the time.
yeah. But anyway, yeah, I'm not quite sure what the plan is and how they're gonna actually really get the goods on Sunny. But I like Austin and Ava. I like Selena too this week.
Hmm.
Selena caught them dead red-handed with the earphone directional mic. It was like, what y'all trying to do? And gave it to Cody good. Like, you're being stupid. You better be quiet. You better keep our relationship secret. Even though she kind of gave it away. Because, Spinelli's like, wait a minute, they were really deferential to Selena. So he's starting to get a little bit of a clue. But he's in the biz, so he knows that he's not gonna, cause any mess because he don't want to get in that mess. But still, that is interesting. But I'm just loving her, putting her foot down literally in between Gladys and Cody, and I enjoyed it. And you guys, you might be shocked. I go through this thing where I viscerally hate somebody and then they kind of grow on me. Now, I still viscerally hate Cody, but I kind of felt like he had a funny line this week. Like when he summed up what Spinelli was talking about, and he was like, hear that? That's nerd for gotcha. I was like, that was cute. I was like,
I
oh,
also I also liked it when he was on the phone with Gladys and he called her and she was like talking about getting a daiquiri or a margarita or something. He was like very classy before noon or something
yeah,
like that.
and whatever. So I like when he does the whole humor side. I don't like that when he feels sorry for himself and felt like he's owed something and does all these schemes and stuff. But when he's funny, he can be funny. So I have to give him that.
That's shocking.
I
Um,
know.
I want to. It's shocking. I do want to go
Shocking.
back to what you said. I still like Austin and Ava, mostly because I love Roger. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
him and Ava kind of poking around. I love them as scene partners. I don't love that we are not privy to more with the story, or at least a direction of the story.
Mhm.
I'm starting to like wonder because like Ava had even put out there like, are you the person in charge? Like figuring out if like Austin has a bigger role.
Yeah.
We've also heard Julie and Jerome's name like a bunch lately.
Mhm.
So I'm like, does Julian or somebody like avenging Julian have something to do with this? Like there's just so many questions and so few answers. And I wonder how much of us having questions is like them just completely changing the character. Like he went from like this fucking hiking doctor from Pawtuck to
Right.
whatever this is now. And I kind of like get annoyed sometimes with when that happens with characters because like you have all the speculation of people being like, who is this person or what are they about? And then like there's nothing. And then when they turn out to be away, people are like, I told you. And I'm like, you told me what? That people made it up along the way? Like nobody knows what he's about.
Mhm.
So that's a little
I
frustrating for
I
me.
did love his scene with Laura. That was funny.
Austin is a friend of Port Charles. Okay, he's like, "Aren't you the mayor? Like,
Right? Like,
when
what are
you
you
almost recalled?"
right? Like, who's gonna take your job? Like, for real? Like, what mayor could just go off for 2 months to a war-torn country and just leave, and then leave town? Like, it's no big deal. So he's like, who's gonna take over your work? I was like, yes, citizen, get her. So,
Laura OG work from home. Okay, Laura's like, "We got Zoom or no?" It's like,
so,
um, something that's working for me is just like the Deception women. Um,
mm,
I was a fan of All My Children. And so the Fusion Girls was like something that always sticks out in my mind. One
oh,
of like the signature scenes, if I think about All My Children, was the first time they made lipstick together. Like that was like a signature scene for me. So like having Deception be that, it's so great to see women working. It's so great to see them successful. It's so great to see them bonding and building, like being able to build like familial relationships outside of their families, to like really have something rooted in friendship and like business, and women led. I think that that's been always been a problem for GH, which is like it's a man show.
mm-hmm,
You got your Sonny, your Luke, your Jason, like it's always been really about them. And to an extent, like the women in their lives. If you look at for example, when like we stopped seeing Sam so much, it was because she wasn't in the mob orbit.
right.
Same thing with Elizabeth. Like when they're not in those orbits or whatever, like it's difficult, like for whatever reason, the writers act like they're difficult to write for when they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I really do love having Deception there as an option to be able. I want to see more of that, but I did love that this week having that as an option. To really, because All My Children, you had Enchantment Cosmetics, and it was Erica Kane's freaking show.
Right.
So would love to see Deception be able to play a major part in at least swinging a little bit of like the male energy from GH. Yeah.
Agree. Um, so on the flip side of that, stories that aren't working, unfortunately, um, the Elizabeth and Hamilton Finn family isn't working for me. I mean, like seriously, we were watching Elizabeth and Finn play backgammon. Like backgammon of all the games they could be playing, and then they didn't really. I don't even feel like they really knew how to play. Like they were just doing something together, and it was just like no, that's not even interesting. And the interesting thing is, the funny thing is like the elder Hamilton, what's his name? Uh
Gregory.
Gregory. They they are making him more interesting by throwing Tracy into the story. Like him and Alexis alone aren't interesting enough for me. But when Tracy's in the mix, now there's like a, actually animation and ire. And I'm loving that for Tracy, but still, him alone is not interesting. When Finn announced, "Thank God I'm leaving town," I was like, "Thank God!" But then it was like, "No, he's not leaving town." I'm like, "Damn it!" I was like, "Oh yes, you're leaving. Find something. You know what? Find something better for yourself, Michael Easton, because you do deserve that. Because this story is not it."
Does it deserve it?
I don't know. I think he's a good actor, but this is not it. And I don't think he as an actor deserves the storyline.
Yeah. I think that they just went too far. GH has this thing that they do where they like take something too far, and then like when they try to walk it back, everybody's like, this was too far. And I
Right.
think that's what happened with Finn and Liz, where they actually like didn't know, nobody wanted to see this man all up in Liz's story the way they had Finn do it. Like
Mhm.
Liz's 25th anniversary story should have been about Liz. She's not a character I particularly like, but she's a character, a long running character on this show. Like, have some respect for that. And they
Mhm.
didn't. They like made her story about him, and then they made him overbearing. They made him just a bunch of things that we did not want to see from him. And in that relationship, it looked off balance. It looked like Finn works best as a character that's like snarky and like a give and take and like whatever. And Liz is not the kind of character that balances that. Alexis balances that. His friendship with Tracey balances that. Um, Anna obviously like balanced that. Liz didn't. And so his personality with Liz was just so overbearing. It was a turnoff. And now they're like, let's walk it all the way back and like give them a fresh start, as if we didn't just see what we all, well, not all, like, I don't know, maybe people liked it, but as if we didn't see what people disliked about it in the first place. So I don't think it was good. I am not interested in them. Um, bring Hayden back so that he can,
Yes, because that was a interesting relationship, him and
yeah,
he.
and they can just go off into the sunset together. Take Violet with them.
I wouldn't mind seeing Hayden on screen, but I understand if you think, they can just go off in the sunset, because I think she would also make Elizabeth more interesting too.
Mm.
Um, but I'm actually liking Elizabeth in this new role as head nurse,
Hmm.
especially as she's all up in, nosy Amy's world. So we're like, look, you need to
They
get
only
out of
bring
people.
Amy back to be annoying.
Right, to get in people's business, all up in people. She's like, why else are you staying the night in the like, it's none of your business. She could have just fell asleep and didn't go home. Why are you making a big deal about it? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I like Liz's head nurse too. I
Yeah.
was kind of thinking about like eras of GH I enjoyed the most, and I think one of the reasons that I liked Scrubs so much, Robin and Patrick, if you know, for Scrubs, is because I liked that with them brought a focus on the hospital. Um, and so I hope with Liz's head nurse and like Portia being there and TJ being there and Terry being there, we can get more of a hospital focus back. Um, I don't care about EOQ. Um, I don't care about, the only business I care about on the show is deception. Like nobody cares. Let's move it on. So yeah, that's my hope.
Another thing that's not working for me, which didn't work for me, I guess, because I guess they're letting it go, was trying to make Nina more human. They did it via the fake nurse. We don't even know if she was real. I think that was a debate. And then they did it again with Sasha trying to get Willow to forgive
That
her.
made me so mad.
I was like,
Because that wasn't last week, this week before, but let's talk about it. Because it
Yeah, it was like I didn't like it, and it wasn't necessary. And again, they ruined it by Nina being Nina this week, where she was like, "No, what's supposed to happen?" Or she was going to tell, but then is taking advantage of Eddie Maine scenario, and now just upset that Drew might be going to jail instead of Carly. I mean, ruined whatever goodwill that I might have had for her by having her go back to being who she is. It's like she's not capable of change. And Willow sees right through her mess and sees her for who she is and does not want to be a part of that. And they're just trying to make Willow seem like she's wrong for not wanting that in her life. And I don't like it.
no, I, you know, here's the thing about that. Look, I'm glad you brought it up. But here's the thing about Nina. I think that part of the problem, let me back up. I didn't like what they had Sasha do because I feel like there's one thing to like say, oh my God, this thing happened. I'm so happy. And then when Willow be like, okay, whatever, like let it go. The whole conversation didn't need to be about Nina because Sasha knows that Willow and Nina had beef prior to all of this. It's not like, oh, you were mean to me once or twice, I haven't forgiven you. They have long-standing, real-ass beef. And Nina was a monster to Willow up until the very moment she found out that Willow was her daughter. She found out Willow had cancer and then decided to go over to her house and yell at her because she felt she had a claim to Wiley. That's why Nina was even at her house. So like, let's be, and then like blamed her. It was like, how dare you, whatever, put your life in danger for my grandchild. Now we ain't hearing that because now this other baby's your grandchild too. So it just like, these are not, Willow has a lot of reason to not forgive to Nina. And I think that, if they were going to make an actual change, like I understand if you only saw Cynthia Watros as Nina and you like Nina. But I've lived through Michelle's Nina. So this is very consistent behavior. And part of the problem, I don't know if you saw that there was like recently a GH convention in LA. And so there was a panel that was like Sunny, Carly, Nina, it's like those actors. And Cynthia, who plays Nina, was like, "Oh, well, I'm the kind of character," or like, what Nina is like. She said something like Nina's like has a little girl inside, and she was like, and Nina feels bad for calling the SEC. And then Laura Wright was like, who plays Carly, was like, well, that's the difference. Carly wouldn't feel bad. And so then Twitter has this whole uproar, like, that's exactly right. That's why we don't like Carly, blah, 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 blah. No. Part of the problem is that Cynthia keeps trying, for me, part of the problem, and this is what makes the character look manipulative, is that she doesn't lean into her being wrong. She completely is like, let me lean in and out of it so that people can like this character. And for me, I can't speak about anybody else, but for me, that's exactly why I don't like the character. I didn't like her when Michelle Stafford played her either, but I wasn't annoyed at seeing her coming. This feels like trying to manipulate me into seeing something that's actually not there. So now you're supposed to tell, like, everybody's like, oh, Nina's a pariah. Everybody's so mean to her. If she was a pariah, then why would her letter for Sasha work? If Nina is a pariah, then she shouldn't be the person writing a letter for Sasha. It's because she's not. It's because she's never actually been punished for her behavior. So you think about a character like Ava, who all the things Ava's done. She actually went through not only a really great like arc, but it was actually a really great arc on the show. That Ryan Chamberlain arc was really, really, really good. And it brought that character to a point where people, even people who hated her, because I was one of the people who was like, she killed Morgan. Like it brought us to be like, okay, it's enough. We've had enough here. It was the very moment when she was on the bridge with Jeannie Francis.
Oh my goodness, that broke me.
It broke me. I said, I love it. Because it's like it's already Maura West, the
Right.
queen Maura West. So you know you want to love her anyway because it's freaking Maura West.
Mhm.
She's like amazing actress. Everybody loves her. I love how much all the other actors and characters like love her. You know,
Right.
like um your least fave Nancy Lee Grant is always like she wants to be in more scenes with her.
Mhm.
Like Tabiana and Eden are always like, yeah, that's who I want to be.
Yeah.
Like, Laura Wright said that she's one of the people that she loves to watch the most. Like Maura West is that girl. And so she's playing a character you want to like the character, but I just couldn't. But when
Mhm.
that happened, I was like, I love her.
I
Like
think for me is when Kiki died. That was,
that was when I forgave her. And I
yeah.
was like, but I was still mad. I was like, but you killed Morgan. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She
um,
didn't. She didn't. But you
but
know how when you get something in your head on the show,
right.
even people be like, they be like, she cut the baby out of Nina, or like Nina cut the baby out of her. It was not
Yeah.
cutting. It was induced. She was induced. It was like, but once you like take something and run with, like, can't believe Nina cut her with a chainsaw to get this baby. You know,
Like, no, that did not
that's not
happen.
what happened.
But to
But
your point, is Nita is not a pariah. She's only shunned by Michael and Jocelyn and
mhm.
Carly. That is it. She's still the hotel owner. She took the hotel from Carly. That's another thing. It's like she feels like Carly has not suffered enough in her eyes. It's not enough that she has Carly's business and her husband and is half is like has her daughter liking her. It's not enough. No, she wants Carly to go all the way in under the jail. But that's not going to happen. And that's why I was happy. I was like, yeah, this is the first time where fans are all like, Carly never suffers for something. Carly is not going to face the consequences of this. And I like it because Nina is just like, oh my God, this is not supposed to happen. Right. Bitch, when you manipulate things, it's not going to happen your way. And you're going to need to deal with that consequence. And you're going to lose Sunny and Willow and everything once everybody finds out. So yeah, Carly, stay out of jail. And I want Carly to actually win her. I want her to win everything she had that Nina tried to take. That's what I want. And I don't care if the fans hate it because Carly deserves it. Well, in my mind, Carly's clean outside Maine. So whatever.
So that's really
I want
funny.
Carly to get it all back. And I want Nina to actually face something because that's what she was. She wants Carly to face something. I need you to actually face something. And then maybe I will be on your team. But you have never faced anything. So Nina girl, ooh, I can't wait.
It was just, like the writing around that time, I mean, and now was like really lazy.
Yeah.
So it was like, you can tell me all you want that she's a pariah, that people don't like her, that whatever. But what I see is something different.
Right.
So like the show is like gets really lazy in that regard because it's like you can't try to make me believe that Carly has it all and she has nothing when I'm watching the opposite happen.
Right.
Like I'm like literally, and it's so wild because like even with like a soap opera digest, I'll see people writing in all the time that are like, oh, I can't believe that Nina did this, or like that Carly's like never facing anything, and her brat kid Jocelyn. Every week in soap opera digest, I'm like, is there an agenda here?
I think
Like,
so.
are these the only? I'm gonna write a letter or something because I'm like, maybe this is the only thing that you're actually getting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right? Like maybe, I mean, I'll give the benefit of the doubt and say that maybe like people who like Carly or like Josh or whatever, it's just kind of, neutral and don't care enough about writing into a publication or something. But every single week it's this.
Yeah,
And
we as fans of Carly and Jocelyn don't have anything to complain about because they're doing what they're doing and they're living their best life and they're fine. You know, like even when Carly's facing, trials and tribulations, it's okay because she recognizes that, this is something I did and I'm going to have to deal with it and I'm going to have to move on. And we're fine with that, you know.
yeah.
But Nina is like, oh my god, what was me? I can't handle it. And they're crying and Sunny, and they're just everyone's just so mean to me. I'm just like,
Yeah, it's just like it's so much, and it actually reminded me, and I touched on this before, but it really like that conversation that I was talking about from the convention like really reminds me why I'm enjoying Eden's portrayal of Jocelyn, because this is a girl who gets on social media and sees people how they feel about her all day every day. You know what I mean? And she could easily try to like soften Joss or try to like do something that makes the audience like her more or whatever. And she's like, no, I'm gonna lean into being a brat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, um, and like hope that the storyline like goes a different way or makes people feel a different way or doesn't, but is like playing the part. So I really enjoyed. I thought she looked very cute in her pink dress at the club. I was like, are the kids 21 now? Did we just decide that? I don't know. But like she looked very cute in her pink dress at the club. And then when Nina was talking, like you could tell she was like softening towards Sunny a little bit. I think that's a little bit of Eden coming through because she cares for Mo so much. But like her just being able, Sunny is treating her like an adult. He's
right.
talking to her like she's an adult, and I think she kind of respects that. But then the moment Nina started talking, she's like, "What did you think, Nina?"
Yes, I love like it's always on site for Jocelyn, and I'm here for it. And I really felt like how manipulative Nina was being when she was talking to what's his
Next,
name? She's
yeah,
like, it's in your best interest to be nice to broker peace between me and Joss. I'm like, it's not his responsibility. And I'm glad that he kind of stood up for himself and be like, it's up to Jocelyn to like you. I mean, because it's really not his responsibility. And she is using her position as Sonny's wife to kind of boss around Dex. And I'm sure if Sonny knew about it, he wouldn't appreciate it either.
maybe
But
he wouldn't care because he let Spencer do it. Like
Or he may just look at him and be like, he might find it interesting. He won't step in, but I don't think he would appreciate that because I don't think he likes it when other people are bossing his staff around.
yeah,
But
I'm interested to see because I know that he already started to say something when she's like freaking out about the ring. She's like, "Oh my god, the ring!" Like, she was gonna tell her herself, and then she didn't. He was like, "I'm worried about you." So I don't know if that is like for some foreshadowing.
mhm.
I thought the thing with Dex was just so weird. Like, ugh. And then like trying to be friends with this 20-year-old. Who cares if Joss likes you or not? Like, I think, and I also think that that's the difference between like Nina and some of these other characters, where it's like if people don't like them, people just don't like them. Period. It's not like this constantly trying to run around and be loved when the people who do like you, like, fuck with you. Matter of fact, let's not forget that Carly is the reason that Nina and Sasha have a relationship. Because
Mhm.
Nina wasn't messing with her, and then Carly was like, "I think something's wrong," and that's when Nina like swooped in, and like that's when their relationship began to heal.
Yep.
So,
We need to get on the show and point that out to Nina.
and to
Be
Sasha,
like, we'll briefly interrupt this conversation to let you know, like, "Psst, by the way, you're only friends with Sasha because Carly made her acceptable for you. Okay, all right, bye."
right?
And then just jump
Okay,
away.
thanks, bye. Okay, thanks, bye. Um, yeah. So I mean, we'll see. I am hopeful that this actually does turn out in a way that like has her facing some sort of like I don't know something, but it's just like deeply unlikable.
Right. Oh, okay. So I kind of
Um.
feel like we're good, kind of doing hot takes a little bit.
Oh, the other thing that's not working for me this week.
Yeah.
No, Anna. Where was Anna at?
Oh, that's
I don't want
right.
another week. to go by without me seeing Anna and Vanna. Don't let it happen. I'm tired of it. That's not working for me.
It's not working
No,
for you.
Anna, it's not working.
Okay.
Anyway, hot takes. I
Okay.
don't
I
have many.
I had a couple stuff that are worth conversation.
Let's do
Um
it.
um Curtis.
Ugh. What about him?
I enjoyed, I mean, all the suffering that I've had to endure listening to Curtis be the biggest hypocrite on the face of the planet, all self righteous over secrets being kept from him and how he can't forgive them and all of that. And then Trina on Wednesday calling his sorry ass out was worth the wait. He's not fully 100% telling the truth to people because people still don't know what he's doing with Selena Wu, but Trina aired him out. She was like, my three parents, only one of them is faithful to the marriage. And he's the example of fidelity and forgiveness. Because
Mhm.
Curtis can't seem to forgive anybody that tells the tiniest itty bitty lie or even a large, huge one. Yes, that was huge. But still, keeping the daughter away from him, that was huge. But still, he can't forgive. He is totally unforgiving of anyone that slights him or doesn't tell him the truth or does him wrong in some way. And I'm loving it that it's Trina, the one that he's trying to love and trying to get her to love him back. She's like, you are not the example. My dad is my real dad. Loved it.
um,
Loved it.
I just continue to love Trina. I continue to
Right.
love her. I continue to love like her being all up in the business. No, somebody needs to tell me
Right.
immediately. Um, and I will say it's like twofold for me, because or like a double-edged sword almost, because on one hand, and I think this is right, I want like Trina to have like strong relationships, good strong storylines outside of Sprina. I think that some of the family stuff has been really good. I would love to see her do more with TJ, and be like maybe incorporated in the story with like Molly, TJ. We know it's probably going to come up with Christina as well.
Mhm.
So I would love to see her incorporated more into that story. And just like all around being somebody that everybody loves. You know, people talk about her and they're like, you have a daughter, you have that daughter. You know what I mean? Like she is just all around somebody that everyone is just like, oh yeah, we adore her, period. Um,
Right.
and what a great thing to like have people say great things behind your back, you know, on the show and in real life when people praise you, you know, like that's just amazing. And so I love that for Trina. At the same time, I still want a strong Sprina, and I'm sorry, but childcare cannot be a Sprina obstacle. Absolutely not. First
Yeah.
of all, Spencer's rich. Get a nanny. No way in the world Spencer should have to leave. I mean, it's Curtis's birthday party, who cares? But like, no way in the world that Spencer should have to be leaving anywhere to go get Ace. Get a nanny. What are we talking about?
That I think that happened last week because I'm like, I don't think we saw Spencer this week. That doesn't work for me, GH. He may be on vacation. That's fine.
Well, he also has like a really high episode count too, so I think they're trying to figure out, you
Yeah,
know.
which is fine, I guess.
Yeah, but no, I just like in general, like I do not want the Sprina obstacle to be like they just need to do better. Like Sprina has obstacles in the bank. We've gone through a lot with them. Let them now like have some like I know that next week they're supposed to be like trying to do something, but like how do we go from Trina like at the first kiss was ready to like let's have sex, and on a boat they were like let's have sex, and they've been back for how long, and we haven't even seen a mention of it. We haven't seen them with any alone time. Like why? I was saying this. I don't know if I was saying this on the show or whatever, but I think that part of it is that they want to make everything because they've like Sprina is the couple, the young couple that they've invested in like invested when it comes to like they are kind of like this one of the signature couples of the show. they want everything to be like epic for them. So their first kiss has to be epic. Their first this has to be epic, whatever. And so like it ends up almost like stalling some of their milestones because they're trying to like line their milestones up with like sweeps or with this or with that instead of letting them just have like a normal progression of relationship, which doesn't feel fair to the characters or to the fans, to be quite honest.
Mhm.
And so we end up missing beats with them and really important beats because they're trying to like line them up to make them epic. When if you just wrote them well, they could do that on their own. And I'm getting really frustrated with some of that writing.
I just had a thought.
Tell me.
So the only other person who really, like, I was just thinking the reason why there's more story that we need to see for Anna, because Anna is not, super spy anymore. So what is she going to do? And I was thinking the only other thing she could do is be a commissioner or a vice mayor. And so she's going to be competition to both Taggart and Jordan.
Know if that's true because she's already been commissioner and then she like
Yeah.
yeah
That's
so
why I'm like surprised that Laura didn't tap her.
I'm not. I think she'll be a PI. I mean, Anna could do literally
I mean,
anything.
she
I would
could
love
do
to see her PI. Let's do Devane, Scorpio, McCall PI.
who's the Scorpio?
Alicia.
Oh, okay. Interesting. That would be an interesting.
And actually let them
Like,
solve crimes and do things.
yeah. I don't want to. I don't want actually Tiger to be in charge of a police department that can't do things, but I'm okay with it. Like I'm okay. Like I want Taggart and Dante to succeed, but I kind of don't want them because they're police. So it's like I don't know, but
Constant struggle.
it's the struggle. um. So yeah. My other thing, because everything else I kind of talked about, my other thing is my first comment for Monday was, damn, they throw Sonny in front of anybody. So, like, why was he talking to Leo? I had, like, no reason whatsoever for that conversation he had with Leo on the stairs. Like,
Every time I see Sunny and Leo, I'm like, didn't you feel that boy daddy?
right.
Like you legitimately killed this boy's daddy and we're supposed to like forget it because Ned's his dad now. Like, no, that's not I also I yeah,
It just seems awkward, too.
it does.
Like, they don't have a natural relationship. It's totally different that what he had with Spencer.
Right.
So yeah, I hope they're not trying to do that redux because it's not working for me.
No. Something I loved was seeing a good amount of Sam this week. First
Yes,
of all, she looked amazing. My
I
girl
loved
was
that hat.
good.
I
Yes.
loved it.
Um, my girl was looking good. I loved the scene with Dante. First of all, I continue every time I see them to love Sante more and more. What a pairing. They get so little, but every time you see them, it's memorable. There's never a throwaway scene with them. They will not allow it.
Right.
So like him, Dante was so funny when like Drew comes over, he's like, okay, I guess I'm gonna go do the dishes. Like he was just like it's so busy at my house. Like he opened the door for Carly. He was like, "Hey, Carly."
Like all these people,
Um,
like he never. I guess he never really expected to have all these kind of visitors up in. He had to
right.
see Alexis, then Drew, and Carly. All these
Like, Sam, your people are busy over here, okay?
right.
Um, but I just loved I actually really loved I one of my favorite pairings for Drew is Dante. I love Drew and Dante scenes, Samantha's brother husbands.
Right.
He was like, yeah, like you want me here? Oh my God, I'm so flattered.
Right, like, oh, you
I
want
loved it. Um,
yeah.
it's just like I seeing them as family, having them operate as family, just kind of being like a normal anchor for the show is so important. I of course want to see more for them. Hoping, I think we should hopefully maybe fingers crossed get another love scene between them soon because it's crazy we've only had one. Um, yeah, so I like that. And I like that they let Sam have that reaction to Carly.
Yeah,
It made sense. They're friends, but Sam ain't forgot. And Drew basically over here pulling a Jason. And Sam is like, yeah, I remember this shit. It doesn't feel good. And
right.
you're doing this for this woman over your daughter. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah,
And I thought it was really important that they let Sam have that reaction and they didn't temper down who Sam is like to like serve crew in
right.
the way that they totally do with people to serve Sona.
Mhm.
I was like, don't wrap my girl up in that bullshit. Let her have her reaction. So
Yeah,
he was like, she had her smoke for Drew. Carly came. She was like, Carly, she was like, I'm sure you have something to say to me. And Sam was like, no, actually,
right, I know what this is about, I don't need to do yeah,
and my smoke is for Drew
right.
making these decisions. And I think that that's kind of where she got with Jason too when he was still alive. It's like, I can't be mad at you, but I got to be mad at these men for constantly doing this.
Yeah,
And so, anyway, I just really enjoyed seeing Sam, as I always enjoy seeing Sam. And I really enjoyed her being able to have the reactions. We had the playful, fun scenes with Spinelli. Christina got on my nerve, even though Kate Mancy is really good. But
yeah,
Christina got on my nerve with her. She was a good big sister. Then we had the home scenes. It was just like a really good week for Sam.
yes,
It was a really good week to be a Sam fan.
and I want her hat.
Yes.
I think that is all I had.
I have a couple more. So I didn't like going back to Sunny, like his energy about Ned when like they were like, oh, he's Eddie May, da, 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 da. He was like, of course Ned would hurt his family, but what the hell?
But who are you to talk about that?
What One, what does that mean? Two, how dare you, Sunny
Right.
Carlos, talk about anybody hurting a family?
Mhm.
Like it's just like such an odd scene. It was so awkward. I didn't understand it at all,
Mhm.
and I didn't like it.
Agreed.
um, I also have apparently you can't be at the Metroport pool alone.
Right. No, I kind of walked away, so I don't know. I kind of like, how did he fall into the pool, Tad or Martin?
Dad.
Well, people were joking that on Facebook that like he may be more Tad than Martin.
He is like tempering down that like accent, a
Yeah.
little bit. So or tempering it, like hopefully, he like I think he was like trying to get his phone and then he fell
Fell
in.
over. Okay.
Ridiculous. His whole thing with Lucy, I'm like, oh God, Lucy getting married to this man. Like, oh God, what a mess. But they were funny. Like I was Sasha when they were at the table just being like extra. And she was just like cheesing at them. I'm like, that's me.
Yeah. They are so good together.
Yeah. I love the flowers. Very cute. But yeah, I was like, you better not be being shady to Lucy, Tad.
Right.
You better tuck that cat shit in. You're Martin.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, and then I have Carly in court with her let me speak to a manager energy. Girl, sit down.
She's like, wait a minute. You had a deal. This is not how it's supposed to
This is
happen.
not fair. I will speak to your boss.
Like,
Thank God my girl always has good hair because she looked like she needed to let me talk to a manager haircut.
yes, and the outfit.
Carly, sit your ass down. Please. Please. So
Full
funny.
Karen, Carly Karen, Corintha.
Carly was going Carly Karen. I was like, please don't do this to me, Fave. Okay, I need you. I'll be out here defending you my life. And you out here acting like this. What am I supposed to say?
Ah,
It was just really funny. I was like, you know what, Carly, please have a seat. Please. No one asked for this. Least of all, me.
right. Um, I had one final comment.
Yes, please.
I want Rena Sofer to come back.
100%.
I want this.
1000%.
We can do a letter writing campaign.
Nina needs to be back. We need her.
Right. Because that would be amazing. She would
Mm.
be an amazing foil to Olivia, to
Everybody.
Nia. I think she would be interesting. It would be interesting if her and Ava became enemy. I think she would be an interesting person to be on deck. I would love to see it.
She's one of those people who just like comes in and like brings a fresh breath of fresh air and will like shake things up. It's really simple. I mean, like he hasn't been gone for anywhere near the time that Rena has been. But
Mhm.
like if you watch Days and then like you saw Eli come back, just having Eli back, it was just like he's like breezing through, checking people, doing a thing. You know, like it's just you need those characters that you're familiar with and that you like who come through and just shake things up. And I think that Rena, even on a grander level, would do that.
Yes. Would love it.
Yeah. Like she would see the bond between like Olivia and Brooklyn. Like
Yeah.
that could be a thing. It could be something with Chase. She could be trying to check and see what Tracy is doing to Brooklyn.
Right.
She could like, meet Sunny and see, because I don't know.
Do they
I
know
don't
each
remember.
other?
Did she have any kind of relationship with Carly? Or did she hate Carly? I can't remember.
I don't
It's been
either.
that long.
But I
Uh,
think she would know Sunny because of
yeah,
Brooke.
I mean, of course you know Sunny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and what are Lois and Olivia friends from the neighborhood?
I kind of feel like they would be, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe,
So
yeah. So it'll
yeah,
be interesting. It would be interesting now that she's married to Ned. And if they were friends from the neighborhood and bring back drama. So
that's
many ways this is interesting.
so good. She just interesting. Um. Also, this is my last one, and maybe this was just me being extra. So I was kind of looking at Zeke's tie for being so short, but I was looking at Zeke like, Zeke, you looking thick in that suit.
I wasn't looking at him in the suit, but I'll take another look. He'll probably still be in the suit next week.
He was looking thick. Um, that's all I got. Anything else for the
I
for
did want to talk about the whole makeup thing. There's like some controversy about Kristen Storm's makeup, but I
oh
was thinking the makeup all around that day wasn't that great because I kind of felt like Sasha's eye makeup was too heavy
I,
because I'm more used to. So I think the makeup all around that day was too much. So yeah,
yeah.
summertime, like they were kind of like made up for evening, summertime during the day.
I feel like they pick on Kristen's looks more than they do anybody else.
Right,
I didn't care for her eyebrows. I thought it was a little
too much.
dramatic or extra. I don't, I didn't care for it, but it wasn't anything I was going to be talking about all day. And I
Yeah,
noticed that there was a lot of that. I was like,
yeah.
okay,
Stop. They need to stop.
yes, yes. If you're not, I mean, look, I'm of the mind that if I'm not going to compliment you, I'm not going to talk about it.
Hmm.
But that's just me.
Yeah, because I think even new Molly's makeup might be a little bit too heavy.
I do not like New Molly. Ugh, I don't like it. I don't like her. And it's sad because so you did all this and you brought in Kate Mancy to play out whatever story you're about to play out with this, and then like the Molly is this person? Because it seems clear to me they're gonna do something like they had Christina say something like, I'm the only one with working plumbing or some weird shit. I was like,
Right. Yeah, she was researching it a lot too. So
yeah. So it seems to me that she's gonna do, like there's going to be some kind of drama with that.
Right.
And we have to watch.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah. I'm also interested because TJ has like traditionally been such a good guy. And I think that when you have people on a show for so long, like in order to like have drama, you have to like make them a little bit more complicated than the traditional good guy. So I'm interested to see like what this all means for him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because the one time Dante like kind of messed up, it was like he slept with Valerie, and it
Ooh,
was
yeah.
around some drama too. And Dante is like traditionally a good guy, so I'm interested to see what happens.
Interesting.
Um, okay, so preview for next week. Typically, I get these from TV Guide, and TV Guide only gave me up until Wednesday, so
Is it?
it was
Oh,
very weird.
that
I
was
don't.
another thing I wrote back. Even like normally I don't really gripe about GH interruptions, but Trump being the reason behind the GH interruptions annoyed me a lot.
Always,
A lot.
always.
And I was like, ugh. Because I almost missed watching Taggart because that's the day that my recorder decided to skip. And I was like, wait a minute, it's not happening right. So, yeah.
Put David Muir on the episode counts. My God. Um, so much of that man. So okay, a couple things before we get into no, I can do this when we're done with previews.
Okay.
So I only have that. So Soap Opera Digest told us that Ned will be moving in with Sunny next week, or Eddie Maine will be moving in with Sunny next week. So let's see what happens there. And that Lucy is going to be teaming up with Felicia to investigate whatever is going on with Martin.
Mm.
Monday, Trina seeks quality time with Spencer. Brooklyn is frantic. Laura encourages Anna. Tuesday, Nina's relief is short-lived. Laura lays down the law. And Wednesday, Ava is frantic. Maxie opens up to Brooklyn, and Lucy seeks Felicia's help. Meanwhile, Sunny makes an offer, and Carly gets more bad news. So those are the only things I have. I don't know what's going to happen Thursday, Friday. And as you heard at the top of the show, I've been out here in these streets meeting Evander Holyfield. So I did not get a chance to like to like see what else was happening. So that's
It's
what
also like next weekend is the 4th of July weekend.
yeah, but the 4th of July is not till like Tuesday or something. So it still should be playing.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
So it's so interesting to me too that soaps will like not be on the like holidays. I'm like, this is actually the perfect time for people who are at home to catch up and be like, I wonder what's going on whatever show. Anyway, but that's what I got. Other things I was going to say, Tanisha Harper was on like dishing whatever with Soap Opera Digest, like their podcast. So it was a good listen, and hearing her talk about her process. Talked a lot about really enjoying working with like Jeannie and Vernie. She said that she loves working with Vernie, and she teaches her a whole lot. She was a fan of Passion, so she was like really excited to meet Brooke when she came on. And those kind of like little nuggets, which I thought were very cute.
What
And then
podcast was it?
this was like the Soap Opera Digest pod because they have a
Okay.
podcast. And then if you get look, I feel like I'm always shouting out Soap Opera Digest, even though I'll be coming at them. There was an interview with Evan, who plays Dex. He's
Oh,
like
what his day to day?
day to
I
day, and
like that.
I really loved. He was like, my favorite days are the days I have scenes with Tabby and Eden.
Right.
I thought that was like really really cute, and just to like see their bond. Um, so yeah, check that out if you can. But Tanisha's interview you should definitely check out. She talks about like her start off as a model. Yeah, so definitely check that out.
Cool.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, I'm
We
looking
talked about a lot.
more than you thought.
We talked about a lot. Ooh, this is what happens when you're still tired. Um, okay, y'all. Well, it's a Sunday. We shifted, and we're gonna shift next weekend.
Happy week.
Happy week. Bye.
Bye.